It's a sweet time to be an NBA player, with TV deals ensuring salaries are skyrocketing and the new CBA making roster construction harder and harder. NBA teams are handing out money and extensions like it's candy to keep productive players. Heck, even players who don't play are getting extended. LOL. So imagine players who are really good, available, and still have something to offer. Yeesh. Here are 5 NBA players who are about to get paid generational wealth this offseason. Stick around, because the last player on this list will blow your mind with how much he's about to get paid. And he's not even a free agent. Let's start with the most obvious one, Kyrie Irving. They were probably going to pay Kyrie Irving even if they didn't trade Luka Doncic. But now that they did, and Anthony Davis has already been paid, all the money has to go somewhere, and it will go to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie is a restricted free agent with a player option, and he's obviously gonna opt out because the timing's perfect. Dallas can either offer Kyrie a 3-year, $176 million max contract or a 5-year, $313 million supermax. Can I just say, yowza! Kyrie Irving's the easiest choice because the Dallas Mavericks sorely need to retain their veteran presence, both for in-game, but also to mentor Cooper Flag, who is about to be their #1 pick. Plus, they need a scorer in the backcourt, and even though Kyrie is pushing on in age, if Dallas is smart, which is never a guarantee, but 3 years and 176 is actually quite a good deal for both sides. Dallas can prepare for the future by not paying him the 5 years and acknowledging that, yes, there's going to be a decline, but we still get the 3 last best years of Kyrie Irving. Speaking of no-brainers, Indiana paying Myles Turner what he's worth and finally deserves is about as obvious as Dallas paying Kyrie. Especially because he doesn't have to be paid the max. A 10-year veteran with the Pacers, a great locker room guy, a guy whose name has been dangled in trade talks for years but has still remained a consummate professional, is an elite or close to elite 3-point shooting big man, and is currently at the end of a 2-year, $40 million contract. Safe to say, Myles Turner's getting a raise. He's projected to average about $30 million a year, and you can predict that Indiana will offer him either a 4 or a 5-year contract most likely. And most importantly, he absolutely deserves it because he's one of the most important players on one of the most surprising NBA Finals teams in recent memory. But yo, if you think Myles Turner is deserving, wait till you see the #1 guy on this list. This next guy, on the other hand, I don't know how he does it, but this guy manages to parlay himself into big contract after big contract, and he's about to do it again. Fear the beard, James Harden. With the Clippers having 0 expectations last year, James Harden did what he does best, which is excel in the regular season and be the most consistently available player on a Clippers team that surprisingly had 50 wins. But here's what's even better. James Harden did what James Harden does in the playoffs, which is fade away when you need him most. And so therefore, they don't have to pay him as much. But James is still gonna get more than he thought he was gonna get, or most people thought he was gonna get at this point in his career. Harden is also a restricted free agent, and he's expected to opt out because he had what they call a career year, in the regular season at least. Here's where it gets interesting. The Clippers are hoping that Harden actually opts into his $36 million option this year, which will give them flexibility. And that's absolutely a financially smart move by the LA Clippers, who are showing some sense for the first time in their franchise's history. But it doesn't make that much sense for James Harden because he's an aging 2 guard with a very spotty record in the playoffs. He had an amazing year last year. He's probably going to want to parlay it. So even if the average annual value of $36 million maybe doesn't change, look for Harden to opt out and at least get probably a 3-year deal out of it, which for him on the back end of his career would be a monstrous windfall. Harden's situation is completely opposite to this guy, who is at the front end of his career, is hella young, and is about to sign his first of probably many Supermax deals. Paolo Banchero, the undisputed best player for the Orlando Magic, a #1 pick who has lived up to the hype so far and has brought the Magic from being a perennial cellar dweller to an annual playoff invitee. Paolo Banchero is everything you want in a superstar and a franchise cornerstone. He's eligible for 5 years and $247 million. And unlike the previous 3 players on this list, he will sign the Supermax and he will sign it for the maximum years possible. Yes, he's had some injury history, but truthfully, this is as big a no-brainer as Dallas signing Kyrie Irving, truthfully. But while Paolo Banchero is signing for insane money, the average annual value of his contract actually pales in comparison to the #1 guy on this list. Unlike the previous 4, he's neither a free agent nor a restricted free agent, but he's that valuable to his team. The minute he becomes extension eligible, they are about to offer him the world. And that player is 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic, who is smack dab in the middle of a Supermax contract that's 5 years and $250 million. But the Denver Nuggets are expected to offer him 3 years and $212 million this offseason, and all sources around him say he's expected to accept. Bruh! This contract would give Jokic an average annual value of $70.6 million per year, and the last year of that deal would earn him $76 million. What's even crazier is that Jokic could choose to decline the extension this year, wait till next year, and sign another one for 4 years, $293 million. But Jokic, being who he is and the consummate professional and team-friendly guy, he wants to avoid the media circus that would follow, so he's expected to sign the first offer. What's insane is that his current contract doesn't even end until 2027. And think about, in a league where the Dallas Mavericks didn't want to pay Luka Doncic, they tried to get out from under him. But with Nikola Jokic, his team is wanting to pay him 3 more years on an already massive contract. He's not a free agent. He's not a restricted free agent. And even if a nuclear bomb hit the world, Denver wouldn't trade him. They have no reason to offer him this extension right now, but they're doing so anyway. Why? Because he's entering his prime. He's the only one of the championship core who seems to be getting better. And if there ever was a franchise cornerstone who you build around for the next 5 years, it's basketball's version of the Terminator, Nikola Jokic. Thanks for watching, G. Unlike these guys, there's a few sly foxes who've managed to weasel their way into massive NBA contracts while not deserving them at all.